Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob's Rig. So something that comes up often in comments, and I see this mentioned in forums and things all over the place, is what is covered by the Jeep Wrangler warranty, or more specifically, I guess, what things are not covered. There seems to be this thought out there that if you've got the initial warranty, 3-year, 36,000 miles, that everything is going to be covered no matter what happens, right? That is not true. So I did a little search here, and this is what it has to say. The new Jeep Wrangler factory warranty strictly covers defects in manufacturer materials or workmanship. That's not unreasonable, right? I mean, if Jeep builds something, or any manufacturer, and there's a problem because of what they used or what they did, it should be covered under warranty, and it would be. However, it does not cover wear and tear, environmental damage, or modifications. If a part fails because Jeep built it poorly, it's covered. If it fails due to how you drive it, maintain it, or change it, that's key with mods, right? You must pay for it out of pocket. The specific exclusions of the standard 3-year, 36,000 mile basic warranty and 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain warranty break down into distinct categories. So they've kind of broken this out for us, right? They're going to tell us what things that I guess it doesn't cover. Number 1, aftermarket modifications and off-road upgrades. The Wrangler is the most modified vehicle on the road. I would argue maybe in a battle with the Toyota Tacoma. But aftermarket changes are a primary reason warranty claims get denied. We're going to cover this at the end, by the way. Non-Mopar lift kits and suspensions. If you install an aftermarket lift kit, any subsequent failure of the drive shafts, axles, U-joints, or differential gears will not be covered. Makes sense, right? I mean, if you did something and there's a failure, it's on you. It's not on Jeep that you modified their product and now are trying to make them pay for your mistake or your change. Maybe it's not even a mistake. No, it's not covered. Oversized tires and wheels. Upgrading to heavy 35 or 37-inch tires places immense stress on the steering box and ball joints. Jeep will deny warranty coverage for those steering components if they wear out prematurely due to oversized tires. And this is something you might talk to about with your dealership before you buy the Jeep, because a lot of dealerships will put bigger tires on the Jeep, right? Probably 35s. You're generally not going to see 37s, but you want to make sure that anything they put on is covered. And I would even have a caveat of that added to your purchase order that says something like, you know, you bought it with 35-inch tires installed by the dealership or Jeep, probably the dealership. They like to modify them and then charge a hell of a lot for them. But that is covered so that you don't have a problem down the road from something they did, and now they're saying, nope, you're going to pay for it when they did it, right? Aftermarket electronics. Yeah, this is a good one. Splicing into the factory wiring harness to add LED light bars, winches, or CB radios can void coverage for any related electrical shorts or battery drains. This is all the more reason if you're going to add, in my opinion, electrical accessories to the Jeep Wrangler, you probably ought to buy a switch, like the aux beam switch, or maybe VOS switch, something like that, so that you can run all of your electrical connections through that and you don't splice into anything. If you're not familiar with those, they're basically a box that sits under the hood that runs to a control panel, and that box is grounded to the chassis. It's powered off of the battery with its own wire. You're not cutting into anything. And then there is typically an add-a-fuse kind of thing that you have to put into a fuse that triggers that switch when the vehicle is on, right? You don't want it to be powered all the time, so you have to add that switch. And how do I know? On a Toyota Tacoma years ago, I put in an aux beam switch and I did not include or connect up that trigger wire. My battery was dead in about 3 days because there was always power running to that switch. Lesson learned for me, right? Number 2 of their categories, routine maintenance and wear and tear items. Items that naturally degrade as you put miles on the odometer are completely excluded from coverage. Standard wear items like brake pads, rotors, shoes, clutches, light bulbs, fuses, and engine filters are not covered. So don't think you're going to pull in for an oil change or something and think that they ought to pay for the filter because you're still under warranty, unless that's included, of course, in their service, and it is in some cases, but generally that's going to be your problem. It's not theirs. Wiper blades and wheel alignments. These are only covered for the first 12 months. I'm learning something here. I wouldn't think they'd cover wiper blades, but apparently they're covered for the first 12,000 miles or 12 months to account for early delivery issues. Beyond that, they are your responsibility. I did not know that. I thought if you had a windshield wiper go bad, it was always your responsibility. And alignment, same kind of thing. I mean, if you hit a curb or something, I guess if it's within the first 12 months or 12,000 miles, it's covered under warranty. Something I didn't know. Tires. The rubber tires on your Wrangler are not warranted by Jeep or Stellantis. They are covered via a separate warranty provided directly by the tire manufacturer. Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Nitto, whoever it is. I've often wondered, I've never had ever, in the many years I've been buying new vehicles, a tire problem, an issue. But how does that work then? I mean, are you able to go to the dealer and they will be your liaison to the manufacturer? Or do you have to contact the manufacturer yourself to try to get that issue resolved? Leave a comment. Let me know if anybody's ever run into that. I really don't know. Category number 3, glass, weather, and environmental damage. Because the Wrangler features a fragile upright profile and removable body parts, external damage is heavily restricted. Windshield cracks. If a rock strikes your windshield on the highway, it's a road hazard, not a factory defect, and is entirely excluded. The warranty will only cover glass if it cracks spontaneously due to a documented thermal defect. I have seen this going back to the Tacomas again, where some of their windows have just exploded. That would be covered. A rock smashing into your windshield, or maybe on the sides if you're off-roading or something crazy, that would not. Environmental fallout. Damage to the paint or body from hail, acid rain, ocean salt spray, tree sap, or bird droppings is excluded. Well, that makes sense to me. How can Jeep be responsible if a bird damages your paint, Cosmetic rust. Interesting. Jeep's anti-corrosion warranty only covers perforation, meaning the metal must completely rust through and form an actual hole. Surface rust or paint bubbling is excluded after the basic warranty ends. So you've got 3 years. If you develop any rust or bubbling issues or whatever, they'll cover it. But after that, it's got to be a hole all the way through. Well, what are the chances of that within the 5-year period even? Lastly, category number 4, abuse, racing, because Jeeps are race cars, and hydro-locking. While built for the trail, the warranty does not protect against reckless operation, water ingestion, or hydro-locking. If you drive your Wrangler into a deep river or pond and suck water into the engine intake, destroying the motor, Jeep will deny the claim. This is classified as environmental abuse, and you will have to file a claim with your auto insurance instead. So they won't cover it if you decide you're going to go windows up into a river or something. And it's funny, years ago I read somebody actually sunk their Jeep into a mud hole where water was all the way up past the windows, and they thought Jeep ought to cover that, like it's some kind of submarine or something. I never did hear what happened. I think they kind of settled. I don't know how that went, or they didn't cover it at all. If you heard of that and leave a comment. Let me know. I'd be curious. So anyway, those are a few instances, I guess, where your warranty is not going to cover certain things that might happen to your Jeep. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've ever experienced a warranty denial because of any of those reasons. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.